Hello, World Civ 106. Welcome to week 6. And now we're going to be moving into Greece and Rome. So we're covering these two sections. And for this week, all assignments are lumped together. You'll just have one set of long notes, one discussion, and one paper to turn in. And it's not split up into different parts of the week. Okay, so just go ahead and take a look at your, make sure you just see everything and look at it. Real quick, what I want to mention, and after we just covered what we did with Far East Asia, that was a lot to cover, and probably a lot of you didn't watch some of my added thoughts on Southeast Asia. I was still a little bit muddled with that. That's okay. That was optional. I hope that you take time in your life to go back and explore many of these things. China is definitely a world power that's on the rise. There's no question. I think that people get a little bit alarmist when they're China's not going to take over the world. That's not how I see it. But in certain parts of the world, they're definitely, it's a little bit different. So Thailand and Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam, just for example, this is a little bit of a different story as to like what they should think about China. Here in Hong Kong, where I'm at right now, it's called, I believe, two systems, one country. So this is China. And this is a very important thing to say if I don't want to, get myself into trouble. It's not separate. It's an island, but it's a part of mainland China. Now, China had a communist revolution, but it started changing its economic policies in around the 70s. So, without giving you a long explanation of this, just to say that China has been changing, and the Communist Party has stayed in power. But it's not the communism by definition that you would study if you want to learn about communism. And many policies, it's just altered quite a bit. And so you would have to really follow Chinese history and to really kind of get a grasp of it. But just needless to say, it's a very strong government that by American standards we would call authoritarian. But authoritarian is kind of it's a politicized word. They have a strong central government that owns many institutions, but essentially they allow capitalism in, right? I mean, many businesses, when you look at all your toys and different things that say made in China, that's because they've allowed private businesses to come in on the national government's terms. And so they've rose to power. Now, this used to be a colony of the British, Hong Kong, and they had their own system. And so the contract was that it would go back to the mainland. And so instead of, it's basically, Chinese government is basically for now left things here in place. In Hong Kong, while they do things a little bit different on the mainland, but this is still a part of China. So I can use Facebook here in Hong Kong. I cannot use it in the mainland, just for example. Google I can use here, could not use in the mainland. And anyhow, religion still exists there, of course, and like Buddhism and all of that. But the party has a very strong policy about religion. It's not like religious friendly, if you will. So certain things have changed there on that end. And so I kind of maybe went off the topic a little bit, but just needless to say, a lot of Southeast Asia has transformed itself in the modern times a little bit different than some of the stuff that you've learned. But all of these things about Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism and learning this history would still help you to have something to grasp, to go on as you kind of look at what's going on in modern times, okay? And so, what else did I want to say on that? Okay, so, I posted something about violence that Buddhists are doing against Muslims in Myanmar, for example, slash Burma. And again, the point that I just wanted to make is that no religious community, no matter what their official ideology is immune to any of the problems that we can see other religious communities or other ethnic communities or anybody else. Everybody can fall prey to communal tensions in which you demonize, vilify the other, whoever the other is, and you do violence in the name of your ism or your thing, whatever that is. And historically, that's what we've seen. So no matter what you study in all these histories of religions that I'm showing you, the end result is often the same. Sometimes people do things good in their name of their religion, and sometimes bad. I don't see any nation in the world that has a consistent track record of what they're doing. So when people ask the question like, is Islam a peaceful religion or not? That's a wrong question. When it's peaceful, it's peaceful. When the people are peaceful, if the people feel peaceful, if that person's peaceful. When violence is done in the name of it, it's violent. The same for Christianity, for Buddhism, anything. So that's just my little thoughts on that. So now we're going into Greece and Rome. Highly important time period and historical developments in terms of Western civilization and the world. I think you'll find this very interesting. And so I hope you enjoy this upcoming week. And please contact me if you have any questions, and we'll be in touch.